Hi everyone, my name is John Subenadi. I'm from University of Surabaya, Indonesia, and I would like to share with you our recent work about the industrialization of Panas Ginseng root culture in Indonesia. This kind of work is collaboration with my alma mater in the doctoral degree, Kyunghee University, and back then in the South Korea, and our industry stakeholder and partner, PT Bintang 7. And here, several authors, researchers, students that involved in this project. I would like to thank our students, James, Stefan, Johannes, and also our partner from the Bintang 7, Miss Liliani, Miss Merlin, Miss Melissa, Miss Pisa, and Mrs. Stefani. Also our beloved professor, Professor Dok Jun Young from South Korea. And here, a little bit about our background, why we do this kind of work. So Panas Ginseng already well known as the herbal medicines that used in many pharmaceutical industry, also in Indonesia. And one of the biggest pharmaceutical company in Indonesia, PT Kalbe Pharma, through their subsidiary PT Bintang 7, already has their own brand for the top products of supplement products that use the herbal medicine, herbal raw material such as ginseng. But they still rely on imports. They still rely on South Korea, Japan, and China of this kind of ginseng herbal material needs. So at the time, we make the feasibility study and do the collaboration. So my affiliation right now is University of Surabaya and Kyunghee University through their own holding company, Hanbang Bio Laboratory. We make our projects how we bring and establish the Panas Ginseng culture in Indonesia. Panas Ginseng itself is a herbal medicinal that belong to the perennial plants. They grow annually. No, they didn't grow annually. So they need around 4 years to be harvested. And they need the 4 seasons, like the subtropical countries. So naturally, it cannot happen and grow naturally in Indonesia, which is belong to the tropical countries. So at that time, it's very difficult to fulfill this kind of the high demand. So we try to include the plant tissue culture technology to make it shorter, to make it more efficient. How we can harvest it in shorter period of it. And we succeed and we find the formula to harvest this Panas Ginseng to the hairy root culture using the plant tissue culture technique. And we can get the biomass, the harvested biomass of same of the 4 years cultivated ginseng in the land. Only by cultivating it for 7 until 8 weeks. Yes, around 2 months, and it's already have the biomass yield as same as the 4 years cultivated ginseng in the land. So it's more efficient, it's more time efficient, cost efficient in many ways. Yeah, but it's very challenged to make it at the beginning. We pioneered it for the lab tissue culture in Indonesia for the first time for this kind of the herbal materials. So of course we found several challenges and hurdles how we can manage it in the laboratory. Yeah, we make the collaboration laboratory called Kalbe Upaya Hanbang Bio Laboratory, or we call it KOH lab. And from that lab, we already found several optimized parameters for the ginseng growth. And here is the little bit brief introduction about our collaboration lab in the KOH lab. So it's began start almost a decade ago, 2012. We did the feasibility study how we transfer this kind of tissue culture technology to Indonesia, which kind of the partnership, and how we can collaborate with the industrial pharmaceutical company that needs this kind of the technology. And after we did it, we found several partners. During my master and doctoral degree in Korea, also I involved in the R&D for the cultivar, for the ginseng cell lines, ginseng root culture cell lines that needed in Indonesia. they need the ginseng that produce more higher bioactive compound that have the health or stamina physiological effect. So we know that many kind of bioactive compound in ginseng can contribute in many ways in human health, like the improve the brain function, for the sexual arousing, for the health promotion, for the diabetic, for the cardiovascular, for the immunology or immune system. So they have many ways because they have many kind of biotic compounds. So our work at the times, we develop non-genetically modified organisms. So we only adjust the metabolic pathway. We engineered it by using the several environmental parameter to drive the biotic compound that can be higher in some kind of compound that contribute with the stamina function. So at the time, we developed several cell lines and did the Memorandum of Understanding signing by 2017. So at that time, we started to renovate this collaboration laboratory. It took place in the one of our faculty building in University of Surabaya, Indonesia, and at the FG building, third floor. You can see in this picture, they have the name sign of KOH lab at the time. At that third floor, usually we use it as a classroom, so we renovate it and we adjust it based on the pharmaceutical industry standard. So we make the lab at that floor. At that time, 2017, our Professor Dr. Junya, represented the Hama Bio Laboratory, is holding company of Yungi University. Also, Professor Junya Keparum, he used the red shirt, and he represented University of Surabaya. He was the rector of Upaya at the time. Also, Mr. Simon Jonathan, that used the green shirt. He was the president director of the PT Bintang 7 at that time. So we started with that and then inaugurate the lab 2018, and until now we still use the lab to do the collaboration research. Recently, 2023, in March 2023, we inaugurate the pilot project. We did the extension of this QS lab to undergoing the pilot project of it. So several parameters that we already optimized during the lab scale, we now bring it to the more bigger scale. So yeah, at this time, using our initial plan, we actually only has this 3 phase of using the 18-liter bioreactor. We mold it by ourselves and we already patent it. But we working with the 15-liter of the working volume, not the maximum. And the initial state, we only add the amount of this single bioreactor. 10 sets for the first phase, 50 sets for the second phase, and 200 sets for the third phase. And one set consists of 18 items of this kind of bioreactor. So you can imagine 10 sets means we're working with 180 single bioreactor, which consists almost 50 liters of media. And during the process of the optimization of the parameter, we realized that it needs high skill manpower. So we think that it will difficult or very challenging if we use the same technique for the bigger scale. At that time, we have several funding from the government, so support from the in-kind support from the PT Bintang 7 as our industrial partner. Also support from the University of Surabaya to develop the other type of the bioreactor to make it more simple, more efficient, more consistent, more durable. Yeah. So we make the other type. If previous one we use the polypropylene molding type of the bioreactor, we try to make more durable. We try to design the other type. At first, we try to make the 10-liter controllable automatic bioreactor using the glass bioreactor. At that time, we try to use several sensors to monitor how the growth of the root culture in the liquid media. we add the dissolved oxygen meter, we add the pH meter, we add the temperature sensor, so we can control it during what happened during those 8 weeks of the incubation period or of the cultivation time. And those kind of the work, we continued it to make the more bigger of bioreactor. We already made the 300-liter stainless steel bioreactor and has several sensors that improve from the previous controllable glass bioreactor of 10 liters. So that kind of the bioreactor already installed perfectly in our extension lab, the pilot lab that already inaugurated back then in March 2023. And before that one, we already want to share with you the success story, how we already find several kind of the good parameter of optimum parameter that contribute with our target. Our target is to make the consistent of yield biomass, also the bioactive compound, ginsenoside percentage, and also it can be consistent 3 times a row in the different production batch. So one production batch itself needs around 8 weeks minimum. Yeah, so that we must make sure that every month we use the production, we use our lab to make the new production batch, so that we can collect the data consistently, and we can manage and we can measure how consistent the yield parameter, the ginsenoside percentage, the growth, the other growth parameter of it. Now, at the time, we already found that, yeah, we can sterilize, autoclave this kind of the bioreactor. It's autoclavable, so it can be autoclaved to 121 degree of 1.5 ATM pressure for the around 70 minutes. And we use the 150 gram of the initial inoculum, and we need around 8 weeks to harvest it. Here, several kind of the optimum results during the lab scale. We try several medium volume, 11+1, 12+1, and 13+1. And recently we already try also 14+1. Why we use additional +1 liter? Because at first we must know that we must make all the media consistently. So we try to make the concentrated media first. And after we make the concentrated media for one set, suppose, or half sets, so one set means 18 items of bioreactor, so half sets means 9 items of the individual bioreactor. So we make the concentrated media first, and below, so from this concentrated media, we take 1 liter and then we add to the fresh sterile aquades or aquabides. So all the 1 liter is the concentrated media. So yeah, thus we must make the different calculation if we want to make the final volume of 12, 13, 14, or 15 liter of media. And we found at the time the 14 liter can produce the good amount of the ginsenoside, also the biomass. Yeah, recently we already switch it also to the 15 liter. For the inoculum weight, we tried 100, 150, and 200, and we found until now we already found as the standard of cultivation procedure. So we use the 150 gram for the inoculum. And for the media formulation, we tried several kind of plant hormones. We tried several kind of the auxin that can promote well how the roots multiplication, and we found the formulation B, the one that can be good enough to match our goal. Yeah, we cannot share it right now because it's confidential, but we want to give some hints for you that it's the formulation, it's near to the Skeng and Hildebrand plant medium, but we already adjust several kind of its composition, like the nitrate source, carbon source, also the vitamin source. And for the incubation temperature, they tend to grow better in the little bit cooler temperature, around 21 to 25. Also, it can grow better also in the 18. Also, it can grow well in the 18 and until 22. So we match our growth temperature, our lab, KS lab, below around 20, around 18, around 21 to 25 degrees. Yeah. And here the profile of several batches. Yeah, this is different batches of production. Yeah, it's not the replication in the same time, but it's different times. So we can find the consistency of the fresh weight, dry weight, yield, water content, and ginsenoside production. So right now, 2023, we already switched to the bigger scale of it. We try to use the semi-automatic and automatic control bioreactor. So we try to bigger, make it larger, make it bigger with the same composition of the liquid media, but from the 15 liter to around 200 liter working volume. So yeah, this is still feels very challenging. Although we already find several best optimum parameter for the growth, but we don't know. Maybe we encounter unknown or X factor of the growth parameter in this stainless steel bioreactor. But we're working on it, and we have confidence of it. At least we can find the yield and the higher ginsenoside content during this scale up period. Yeah, as your information also in this lab, we not only working with the herbal ginseng from the Korea, we also started working with the native Indonesian herbal plants such as red ginger. The red ginger, we try to induce also the root culture so we can share with the ginseng using the same resources, same tools and infrastructure. We can use the same facility in here to develop how we can get the gingerol, the bioactive compound from red ginger efficiently compared with the conventional way in the land cultivation. So that's it. And if you want more to know about our recent work, we already published it in this research article back then in 2021. Also, we published in several international proceedings about the updated work. And I would like to thank you very much with all of your attention. And if there is any comments, critics, questions that we can discuss with, I will like very happy. You can contact me with my affiliation or my contact number or email in this kind of reference. Thank you very much and have a nice day. See you.